What do you take out of that game? You know, one of the best receivers in the nation. What do you think you took out of that?
It was a great matchup. I mean, I enjoyed it. He was a great guy, great opponent, great sportsmanship, everything. I mean, he's everything he's built up to be. So, I mean, it was a great experience for me being younger and getting to take on a guy like that.
It's going to get tougher. I mean, coming out of that, it seems like it should be easier for you having that experience now under your belt.
If anything, it just boosts my expectations for it, because if I was able to go against a guy like that every play, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to take on any other guy.
What did you do well? What did you do not so well?
There were some third down plays where I gave up passes, short passes across the middle to him, and I felt like I shouldn't have. And it was things from leverage to my press coverage, that things I just needed to work on, and I tried to do so today in practice.
How'd you grade out? What Coach Mitchell talked to you about afterwards when you guys were watching the film?
If anything, I should have. One thing I have been really good with, and from the spring and up till the game, it was my patience. And one thing I was like overly anxious to be going up against him, because it was like I was like overly ready. I felt like in my head. So some plays I was like overly anxious, and that it came back to bite me on some plays. So, but for the most part, it was pretty even.
How did that come back to bite you? Is it something where you overplayed him and he just got a step on you?
Yeah, there were plays where I pressed him, and then I ended up getting on top of him instead of being on his back hip, and he ended up undercutting me and getting the first down for the catch.
Talk a little bit. Had a very long career, but is he the best you've seen? Is he the best you played against?
Yes, he definitely is. I mean, everyone asks me. It was just the little things he did right. I mean, whether it was from running a route and finishing a route, he just definitely not to say kept me on my heels, but he did what he was supposed to do.
Daryl, on your interception, you left him though to go make the play. Is that right?
Yes.
That's a pretty heady play. What happened there?
That was just me going through my reads that we have been working on all week. I mean, it was a certain alignment into the boundary that I was expecting it, and I read it pre-snap, just expecting it to come. So once he set his route down, I just was ready to jump on top of the other one.
Did you see the whole impact move?
No, I didn't see it. I mean, at the same time, I shouldn't even took the ball on that side of the field. I was supposed to go up the near sideline.
You're gonna critique yourself on the interception return?
Who take on Drayvon?
Drayvon, he had a pretty solid game. I mean, as a true freshman, going up against Alabama, I mean, it's just Alabama is another name, but they're a great football team at the same time. And for him to have done as well as he did, I mean, there were some plays that he could have made that he didn't, but I mean, at the same time, we all made mistakes.
One of the things we talked about in the preseason was you playing one position and getting comfortable at one position. You go out there and you're following Cooper all over the field. You're playing left side, you're playing right side. How different is it between those two, what your responsibilities are, and is that something you envision yourself doing this season, being able to kind of be that versatile, chase whoever the best guy is out there?
Well, definitely. I mean, if it helps the defense, that's what I want to do. I mean, and I encourage Coach Gibson to put me on the best receiver every week, whether he lines up on one side of the field or whether he moves around. I mean, that's why as a corner you have to be able to play both sides. Because when you get to the league, what if you play right corner your whole life and they switch you to left corner? So being able to play both sides is just a part of the game. And I mean, I feel like that's a new thing where a corner plays a side instead of filling boundaries. So at the end of the day, you're just doing your job.
This Townsend team on film, what do they do well? What do you prepare for?
I feel like they go full throttle every play. I mean, whether it's from their receivers blocking to the quarterback scrambling and things like that, and that back, he's definitely a downhill runner, and we have to be able to bring it every play.
Third down defense. How frustrating when you guys keep getting them in position and just aren't able to get off the field there.
That's one thing we definitely want to focus on this week is getting off the field on third down. I mean, there were multiple opportunities in the Alabama game where we had them backed up on third down, and then we just let them off the hook. I mean, that's one thing we really did stress, and we need to fix it.
Coach, you said that maybe from their point of view, they can overemphasize that. They can say it so much to you guys that it gets in your head and you maybe get tight. Have you noticed them talking about that more or less, or I mean, heading into this week?
It was about the same. I mean, at the end of the day, we knew that was the point of the. If anything, that might have been the point where we lost the game because we let them off field on third down instead of them moving the ball on that third down and having to punt it on fourth down, they might have got converted and it might have turned into points. So if anything, we want to turn those more into punts and 3-and-outs more than them converting on third down and possibly getting points out of it.
Alabama had a lot of time of possession. Were you guys worn out at all at the end of the game because they did have a lot of time of possession in the game?
Not so, I wouldn't say so much. I feel like it was some drives that we felt like they were like dragged out, and it was just long. And I mean, so the players get tired. Of course, that's just human nature out there playing the game. But at the same time, we just kept battling through. And if someone needed to come out, then we had someone fresh right behind us.
I think you had 7 solo tackles and a tackle for loss. How much more confident do you feel about the tackling in the defense this year, especially yourself?
I know I had quite a few missed tackles, and those are things that I need to do better. And as a whole, there were plays on third down where as a defense we didn't tackle well. So there was definitely too many missed tackles as a unit, and we feel like we need to fix that and limit it to because that's just yards after contact, and those turned into first downs if not touchdowns.
In college football today, every week is important. No one game is any more or less important than the other one. Do you think the team as a whole has an understanding of that?
Yes, we definitely have an understanding that coming from a hard-fought battle that we had on Saturday. Everyone wants to try to slow down the process of getting their body back, and we're trying to focus on Saturday as much as we can. And we even though it might be a lower ranked opponent, they might not be in a Division I. But at the same time, we know the task that's at hand, and we know we never look down on any type of opponent. We treat everyone as if they are the #1 team in the nation.
It's just an example in the Big 12 where Dakota State went to Ames, Iowa. Whipped Iowa State pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the example that the coaches use to I guess motivate us in a way and put it in our heads that none of these challenges are easy.
Night games your favorite games to play?
Well, I haven't played an actual night game that started at a nighttime clockwise, but Texas last year was pretty fun. It was a pretty intense night game. I could definitely see Morgantown turns up to another level when it definitely gets dark outside.
Is the hardest part just the lead up to a night kickoff like that? They just sit around.
If anything, I would say that it's better. It gives you the ability to just relax your mind, and throughout the day you realize you have more time, and you can just settle yourself down and notice we don't play for such and such more hours, so we can just relax. We get to watch other teams and see how they did that day, and hopefully we can take something from their games and put it into ours.
Do you believe you can carry momentum from week to week, or is it more each game's its own separate thing?
You could definitely carry momentum because it's could be something that you did in the last game that has you're still thinking about, and it has your mind on another level. I'm just going to turn that up to the next week.